Hey everyone, it's Gator the Great here, and it's time for an album review. Today I'm going to be talking about the 5th studio album by indie rock band Band of Horses, and this album is titled, Why Are You Okay? Band of Horses are a southern indie rock band who have been around for, believe it or not, about a decade or so. They impressed me a few years ago with their debut album entitled Everything All the Time.
Looking for these?
An album that was full of very straightforward, catchy indie rock tunes, memorable songs such as The Funeral, which was a song that was introduced to me by the Skate video game soundtrack. Remember those games? Their next few albums followed in a similar fashion, not really deviating too far from the sound they introduced on their debut. Albums such as Cease to Begin and Infinite Arms all had songs that I enjoyed, but you could tell the band's sound was quickly becoming stale and kind of watered down. By the time their 4th studio album, Mirage Rock, rolled around, an album that was panned by critics and fans alike, the band was really sounding more uninspired than ever before. Thankfully, I'm glad to report that the band's latest offering is a huge improvement over their last album. I think it has more to offer than their last album did, but this record is still inconsistent and spotty just like some of their other albums have been. This album starts off promisingly with the album Dull Times / The Moon. The first half of this track is characterized by some dreamy guitar chords that serve as a background for Ben Bridwell's ghostly vocals, as well as some light, and I do mean light, post-rock-ish moments. I really like the part where he sings a line about there's a filthy room, guitars are out of tune, and just as he says that, there's this very out of tune guitar slide that comes in. I just thought that added a little bit something to the song. Then the song transitions into the second half, where a very fuzzy, noisy guitar riff is introduced, and this rocks a lot harder than anything that Band of Horses have ever done, which really surprised me. Sadly, there's not a ton of other musical surprises on this album. The interlude that sits in the middle of the track listing is a synthesizer and drum-led instrumental that really isn't that far off from sounding like a hip-hop instrumental. The rest of the album plays it relatively safe for the most part, which sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. On tracks such as Casual Party, I think it does work. I think the songwriting on this song stands out a little bit more than the others, but I think this song is really infectious and it has a killer hook that gets stuck in my head after every time I hear it. Although the song Solemn Oath has a very happy-go-lucky intro that I'm not a fan of, I think this song becomes more interesting as it goes along. This song transitions from a folky song to kind of a more fuzzed out rocker, just like the last track did. As for the other tracks on this album, there really isn't a ton to say. They kind of commit the crime of being really vanilla and too bland to really have much of an impact on me. Some of the tracks here are decent for background music. Songs such as the string-heavy Hag, the pleasant Whatever Whenever, or the track Barrel House. The song In a Drawer has a pretty decent chorus, but the verses really wouldn't sound out of place coming out of the speakers at a department store. Then you have songs such as Throw My Mess and Country Teen, which sees the band inserting some of their Southern and Americana influence into the mix, but the results just kind of come off as hokey and forced. Although this new Band of Horses album is a huge step up from their last album, I think it suffers from really bland instrumentation and some forgettable songs. If you're looking for an exciting indie rock record, you're probably going to be disappointed with this one. I'm feeling a 5 out of 10. What did you think of this album? Let me know in the comments below, and also let me know some album requests that you want me to review next. Don't forget to subscribe and support my channel if you like what you see. Thank you for watching. Till next time.